Hi, I'm Clarissa Williams, host of Cookville Now and the area's conservative voice, Highlands Insider. We are here today with Casey Crosbie. Welcome.
Thank you.
So I'm going to read this because I'm afraid I might forget something.
Oh, you're totally fine.
We are excited for you to be here in the Upper Cumberland because you are the co-chair of the RNC. For those that are watching that aren't familiar, that's the Republican National Committee. So you have a big job.
Yes, ma'am.
So your background, everyone that I've talked to about you there's a couple of words that have stood out. Grounded, grassroots leader, known for putting people first. And when I did research, I saw that you are typically going out and helping others campaign, but you don't talk about yourself, which I think is a big quality for anybody in politics today.
Thank you.
They also said you were humble, service-minded, and focused on building strong local foundations for national change.
Yes, ma'am. That's pretty nice. It's amazing when you hear people say nice things about you because it's certainly not expected, but that's very kind.
Well,
now I need to figure out who you've been talking to.
Well, we got a couple of quotes from some folks and just kind of watched some videos and did some research. We always like to research who we're going to be speaking to so that we can bring our audience well-informed interviews.
Yeah. Thank you.
So thank you for being here in the Upper Cumberland. We have 6 counties plus here today, so we've got over 200 people. And we're excited because we keep winning with President Trump. And I know you have a lot to do with that. So I just want to jump right in with one of the topics that a lot of people have been talking about, which is the big, beautiful bill. We've heard that phrase quite a bit. And I know there's a vision for 2025 from some areas at the heart of the moment. Can you help us understand what it means for everyday Americans and why it matters?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing that the one big, beautiful bill does, I mean, we stopped the largest tax increase in history. And that is probably the biggest thing that will impact American families. Also, securing the border. I mean, that was a big campaign promise that President Trump made. And it is truly amazing to me to see, like, for the past 3 months, it's not a little bit of border crossings. The numbers have come in 0 illegals crossing the border. So, you know, it makes permanent border patrol. And then in our communities, too, the support for our public safety officers. I mean, you can go on and on about what this big, beautiful bill does, but those are just some highlights that really impact people in their local communities. And, you know, President Trump put a deadline on it. A lot of people didn't think that he'd be able to get it passed by July 4th, and he did. And, you know, simply put, what we see with President Trump is what we get, and it's promises made, promises kept.
He is definitely someone that a lot of people, I think in the first term, for those of us that voted for him 3 times, I think that people that didn't vote for him undervalued and undermined and tried to continue to deflate his campaign. But he has won on several different fronts, and the Big Beautiful Bill is one of those. We are big proponents of our ICE agents and our local law enforcement, so we were really happy to see that. I want to talk a little bit about grassroots power, too. You've always stayed grounded in grassroots. Why do you think local engagement is so critical right now?
Oh, it's critical to us. It's so important. I started out in the grassroots. I mean, my love for politics started knocking on doors when I was in college. And, you know, everything happens local. I mean, while we have these national issues and everything, but everything is really local, whether it's the impact of the one big beautiful bill or it's what the city council is doing. Everybody can make a difference locally, but everybody has to be involved in the process because, I mean, politics touches everyone, whether you like it or not. It touches everyone. And, you know, I guess I found too, just being a Christian and a person of faith and a wife and a mom, and I would have people like start complaining to me about things, and I'd be like, well, did you vote? Have you done this? Have you gone to a school board meeting? And I'll go through like a list of things, and a lot of people don't participate in the process. And, you know, and I think truly you shouldn't complain unless you're participating on even a minimal level of understanding the issues. But, you know, my goal is to always get people involved and to understand, because then I think you can make educated choices on how politics impacts your life. And I think you're going to hear some of that tonight about my path and sort of how I ended up where I am. I am going to talk a little bit about myself because I think it tells the grassroots
Yes, I think
story
that's a
tonight,
good thing.
even though I hate doing it. But I think it's important for people to hear because it goes back to where I was just a grassroots girl and President Trump recognized hard work and somebody was just doing their job and tagged me to be the co-chair following his daughter-in-law of the Republican National Committee. It's
That's
just an
phenomenal.
amazing story. But, I really try to encourage people just to get involved at all levels. And frankly, we have some important races. We need to make sure President Trump is a 4-year president. And we have some important races. You guys are going to have some here with some congressional races. There's a lot of people running for, there's going to be a governor's race
I know
here.
we have got a lot.
And, and a lot of times, sometimes the top helps the bottom of the races. And sometimes the local races help the top because people know the people running for city council or running for any local elected office. And sometimes they help drive people out to vote. So it's just important that you be involved. So that's why it's important to me. Just everybody needs to know a little bit about what is impacting their lives.
Well, we're excited to hear what you talk about. One of the key points that we've been talking about in our office that you just brought up is people of faith. And we know that for some reason, what we've been discovering is people of faith don't vote as much as they should be. If we could get them to the polls, we would have a much, much more, I would say, easier success path. Even though we've got a good path, we need as many numbers as we can get.
Yeah, well, and I think when you look at people who are of faith, a lot of them fall in line with more of the Republican platform. And I think you guys are truly blessed in the state of Tennessee. A lot of people may or may not know, but your committee woman is co-chair of a faith engagement committee that we have. And I just feel truly blessed that I get to be a member of a party that encourages people of all faiths to participate and that we have prayer calls with our members every week. A lot of us deal with a lot of pressure and stress in our lives. We're like, for me, I'm on the road nonstop, and I still have a family. My kids are grown, but, I still have family concerns and other things going on in my life. And our group gets together and every week we hold prayer calls to lift each other up. And then monthly we do a prayer call with usually somebody. Sometimes it can be an elected official who's very strong in their faith, or we've had pastors, and we invite Republicans from all over the country to participate. And so, I feel truly blessed that the Republican Party actually supports and tries to engage people of faith because we know when they hear the message and how we feel about it, they come our way. So,
well, I think it stands, especially if you look for Tennessee specifically, our guiding principles follow all of those paths of faith. And I think that it's just common sense.
Yeah.
So let's go over. We talked a little bit about faith and how important that is and Tennessee's role. What would you say your message to the people of the Upper Cumberland, knowing that we have a variety of races coming up? You mentioned governor. We will have some Senate races coming up, congressional, and then, of course, all of our local elections as well.
Yeah, well, you in Kentucky, we're in the same boat. We have an open U.S. Senate race right now that has caused sort of a trickle down in a congressional district, and then that's caused a trickle down in some of our state house races because everybody's jumping into a primary. And I guess my biggest message would be for like states like Tennessee and my home state of Kentucky is that President Trump really does not want to have to worry about states like ours. We are reliable states, and so everybody just needs to get involved and do their job because there are places where we are going to have to really defend and be proactive, and hopefully this area understands what their job is, and we all need to be involved and make sure that we're sending President Trump great people who are going to be solid votes for him and making sure that his agenda makes it through his full term.
Well, I think it's important. We're on that 2-year track to get everything in that we can.
Yeah.
Is there anything new that's going on that you want to touch on and talk a little bit about?
Yeah, it's funny because we're getting ready to launch just this week an initiative with the Republican National Committee and the National Federation of Republican Women. One of my big passions is the fact that I did get started as a young lady in politics and took an interest, but also what I know is being a female and involved in the process, women are doers. We like to do things. We like to have jobs. We like to feel involved. And when you engage women and give them something to do, they tend to stay involved. And, and I tell people at the national level all the time that, it's great during election time to have these women's initiatives, but we really need to keep them all throughout the cycle and plug them into ways that they can be helping us at all levels of of elections, whether it's election integrity, working the polls, or going out and knocking doors. But we have to keep the women engaged and involved. So the National Federation of Republican Women and the RNC are building a coalition. It's called WIN, Women Increasing in Numbers. And we are launching in New Jersey and Virginia for their governor's races in 2025. And then looking forward to 2026 in all these different areas that are going to need support. How can we engage our women? So that's a brand new initiative. I'm pretty passionate about it because, I say when women don't feel involved or engaged in something, they can go be involved as a team mom for baseball. You heard me talking about that earlier. They can go to their Bible studies and be involved, their churches, their reading groups, their book clubs, it's on and on the opportunities that they have to engage and get involved with other organizations, but yet politics impacts everything they do. So why not capture them and give them ways to be involved? So I'm really excited and proud of this initiative. It's taken a lot of work, but it's modeled after the Trump Force 47. So we'll be getting information. They'll be contacted immediately after they sign up, and we'll be plugging them in as quick as possible to help us win elections.
Well, make sure we get some of the press releases for that. We have 3 newspapers in Virginia as well, and we would love to carry that in our Virginia newspapers. We have so many things going on, and there's so many wins. There are people who try to come up with reasons to create opposition. But I think that we're at a time in our country where people really want this to be the way the country moves forward. And I think you're right. Anytime you can involve women, you're always going to have a winning strategy.
Well, and President Trump has been very clear when the RNC and his campaign merged. I was treasurer at the time. That was the office I held prior to being named co-chair, and so I was part of the officer team. And when he came in, it was the transformation at the RNC. It became all about winning, and there was no daylight between us and the campaign, and we have now continued that with our work with the White House. There is no daylight between the RNC and the campaign, and our goals are pretty simple. Make President Trump a 4-year president, and also we are growing our party. We saw him in every major demographic that he increased numbers there, like women. And so we need to build upon that. And I tease people all the time because I say we're like Baskin Robbins. Who would have thought we'd be the party of 31 flavors? But, we understand now that it takes a lot of different people to make things work. And so President Trump has been amazing at growing the party. And then, of course, protecting the vote with election integrity. And if we do those things and do it right, we're going to have a good 2026.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you.
And we're looking forward to hearing your speech. And we are excited for all of the things forward, not just the big, beautiful bill, but as you said, a big, beautiful, balanced group of people who want to see positive things happen.
Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. And if you would like more information, check out highlandsinsider.com. And we appreciate you coming to us today. Remember to be a light, be bold, and be bright. Thank you for joining us. See you the next time.
Introducing Highlands Insider, a locally owned conservative newspaper, both in print and online, serving the Highlands and Upper Cumberland region, including Putnam, White, Overton, and Jackson County, with more to come. Founded to fill the gap left by liberal-leaning coverage, we deliver uncompromised news, video, and community engagement. Subscribe now and use code HI49 to save $20 on a print and online subscription for limited time.
Join us every week as we introduce our neighbors, businesses, and inspiring stories.
People, businesses, and places that make the Upper Cumberland what it is today.
As we tell all about the past, present, and even the future outlook.
Like, comment, and subscribe so you do not miss an episode.